I am Professor NH. I've been playing RuneScape for over 20 years and let me tell you, it's not how it used to be. The days of running around Edgeville, unloading your DDS clip, hoping for the best, are over. Now players have spent thousands of hours over multiple decades studying and perfecting the craft, breaking it down to a science. Between swapping your gear, prayers, movement, and food, there is so much complexity that it can be challenging for new players to get into. But it doesn't have to be so hard. Today, I have 10 tips that will change the way you look at the game and catapult you on your journey from noob to master. Some of the tips I have for you today are gonna get me into some trouble. Top players have been gatekeeping the secrets of PvP for far too long. Before we get into the more advanced stuff, we have to address the fundamentals. The goal of NHing is to maximize your damage output while taking as little as possible. The best way to reduce the amount of damage taken is to always be in your tank gear. Having your staff equipped gives significant magic defense as well. This is your base form. After every single attack, you should always reset to base form. Go for the bolt. Back to base form. Hit with the whip. Back to base form. Now our inventory will always be consistent, and we can start to build muscle memory. It's important to remain neutral until the last possible moment to avoid being predictable. A PKer that projects their attack style too early is no better than Jad, who seems scary at first, but becomes borderline AFK when you use your protection prayers. If you can comfortably switch between melee and range, you are well on your way. The less time you spend looking at your inventory, the more time you can spend watching your opponent and using your prayers. There's an attack style we haven't mentioned, and it happens to be the most important of the three. That's right, magic. Learning to quickly use your spells is one of the biggest differentiators between a beginner and a pro. The power to freeze your opponent in place for 20 seconds lets you control the speed of the fight. Mouse speed and accuracy come into play more than ever when using your spellbook. Like any skill, it can take thousands of repetitions before you start to get the hang of it. It's crucial that you practice good form if you want to quickly improve. After 1,000 wins of Last Man Standing, I can confidently tell you the easiest way to use magic. You need to keep things simple and work smarter, not harder. Listen, if you're not using F keys yet to switch between your menus, please close out of this video and come back when you're ready. You gotta keep things simple. NH elitists will try to tell you to keep your gear at the top of your inventory. They are objectively wrong and doing more work than needed. The closer your switches are to your prayers and spells, the less work your mouse has to do. Having everything on top of each other leads to less misclicks. It's basic science. Don't let the masochists tell you otherwise. If you combine this method with my next tip, using magic becomes a walk in the park. Let's talk about camera movement. One of the most common mistakes I see new players make is trying to hit a target the size of a peanut all the way across the screen. By utilizing the power of the scroll wheel, we can adjust our POV and transform that peanut into fucking General Grador. Try to always make your opponent as large as possible, and directly next to your inventory, so misclicks become harder and you can focus on speed. This technique is especially as important after you catch a freeze. Adjust your camera angle and try to always place your opponent in the same spot. I have to be honest with you though. There are a handful of plugins that many PKers are taking advantage of, and you should too. My students all agree that using the fixed classic layout combined with a hide chat plugin makes for the most optimal field of view. It may look weird at first, but I promise you having a chat box take up 1/3 of your screen isn't helping you PK. There's another dozen or so plugins that I can't live without. If you want a video dedicated to the best settings possible, be sure to subscribe. We need to talk about the most overpowered item in the game that every pro takes full advantage of. No, it's not the Armadillo Godzord, not the Lightbearer ring either. This item in fact only costs about 10,000 gold in the Grand Exchange. That is of course the Saradomin Brew. Packed into this one vial is the power to heal up to 64 hit points, nearly 3 times more than the next best food. But that's not where the benefits end. One of the best things about potions is that unlike hard food, they don't affect your attack cooldown. This means that you can sip 1 or even 2 potions in between every hit without sacrificing DPS. The only downside of the brew is that it will lower your stats, but if you pair it with a super restore at a ratio of 3 to 1, you remain fully lethal. Who would have thought that when you take the juice of a toad flax and combine it with a bird's nest, you achieve immortality? I must warn you though, the long-term effects of excessive brew consumption are unknown, but there's probably nothing to worry about. The best way to take over a fight, or even end it on the spot, is with a well-timed special attack. The most important thing with special attacks is to hit your opponent with the wrong protection prayer. There are a handful of tricks you have to know to maximize your unpredictability. The easiest of which is to go in for a spec the moment you become unfrozen. You force your opponent to react quickly and it's night-night if they fail to do so. Another great way to mask your special attack is to hide your weapon through an animation. Every advanced PKer uses a technique called pot tricking, where they drink a potion the moment before they go into a special attack. The potion drinking animation overrides the weapon switch and your opponent won't know what's going on until it's too late. The number one most effective way to special attack, without a doubt, is to do what's called a one-tick, where you switch weapons and attack at the same moment. This can only be done when you are switching from a weapon with a spec bar. It can take some time to build up the speed, but it's a good goal to aim for. Unpredictability is your best friend. Switching between different attack styles can leave your opponent guessing.
I'm gonna debo him.
But make sure to hit your target.
Shit. I hit the crab!
Here my opponent is being a bad boy and standing under me. He thinks he has control of the fight, but that's when you can catch them by surprise. A well-timed spec can shift the tides of a fight, or even end it right there. There's one last skill you have to understand when it comes to special attacks. Let's talk about movement. Movement in old school RuneScape is simple. You move 2 tiles every game tick while running, and 1 tile when you are walking. Since you can do multiple actions while moving, it's important to understand the order of operations, specifically with attacking. You can move and then attack in the same moment, but the movement always comes first. This means you can stand 2 tiles away from where you will attack and still be able to hit your target. When I go for the melee attack from tile 1, I attack on tile 2. You can immediately return to safety after the attack so your opponent cannot hit back. Different animations can slow down your character model, so it's crucial to understand where your player actually is. This can be made easy by the tile indicator plugin that highlights your true tile. I like to click in a square and play with myself to practice the timing.
Sit at the chessboard and play with yourself. It's amazing. Okay, yeah.
There's a new wave of players taking on the challenges RuneScape has to throw at you, and they all make this same mistake. Whether you're eating food, attacking your opponent, or moving around, all you need is one click. By clicking multiple times, not only are you wasting time, but you also interrupt your current action. This is especially important when using magic. The first click will cast the spell, but any additional click will send you running into Staff Bash.
Look at my mana. What do you want me to do?
Understanding food cooldowns and avoiding spam click healing will increase your overall efficiency. You can eat every 3 ticks, and that can be a single, double, or triple eat. Some of the best PKers in the game aren't clicking insanely fast. They dominate because they never waste a click and stay systematic and efficient. No matter how good you become at RuneScape PKing, there is one inevitability. With the increasingly powerful arsenal of weapons available, going from full HP to 0 has never been so easy. If your top concern is avoiding death, it might be a good idea to become a skiller. RuneScape PvP is unforgiving, but every death should be a lesson. Whether you should have eaten to a safer HP level, teleported away, or prayed melee, you should always focus on what you could have done better instead of making excuses, like blaming RNG and lag. Okay, admittedly there are times when you can blame Jagex.
Back off prayer. This could kill Manx when it registers.
What the fuck?
Unfortunately, while Jagex works on their 37th spider boss, PKing has taken a seat in the back. With the amount of money you spend on supplies, parchments, and repairing gear, PKing is an overall money sink. Why do I choose to PK when I could be killing the same boss for the 1000th time, you ask? Well, that's easy. It's fun. It's really fun. Nothing compares to the feeling of being down food, on the ropes, and pulling off the miracle spec to finish the kill. You don't get this kind of rush from any other game. It's been over 10 years since the last major wilderness update. We are due for another big expansion that includes high skill level content. The high risk versus reward dynamic that the wilderness offers is unparalleled, and the PvP community is hungry for more. With Deadman mode around the corner as well, now is the time to get ahead of the curve and start learning to PK. If you've made it this far, congrats on leveling up your PvP skill. We're only scratching the surface of what it takes to be a great nature. If you don't want to miss the next video where we go over some more advanced topics, please subscribe so I can show my mother that RuneScape is a viable career path. And one last thing. Along your difficult journey, they will call you a noob. Then you will improve, and they will call you lucky. But then one day, after you climb your way to the top and finally master an Hing, they will call you a cheater.